You turn 30, and almost instantly, a quiet storm begins to rise. Expectations start to whisper, sometimes shout, all the things you should have figured out by now: a stable job, a house, a marriage, a family, a six-figure salary, a clear, predictable path. Suddenly, these things aren't just goals anymore. They've become silent measurements of your worth. And if you don't have them yet, if you're still figuring it out, still searching, still learning, still doubting, you begin to wonder, did I mess up? Did I waste time? Am I behind? You look around. People your age seem to be. They're already settled, secure, successful. They're getting engaged, buying homes, climbing ladders, and even if you don't want to compare, it's hard not to feel like maybe you missed a step somewhere. But here's the truth, the one nobody says out loud enough, the one you need to hear right now. Not having it all at 30 doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're broken. And it sure as hell doesn't mean you're not worthy, because 30 is not a deadline. It's not some cosmic checkpoint where your life is meant to be complete. It's just another page in your story, one that might still be messy, in progress, beautifully unfinished. Success doesn't wear one face. It's not a wedding ring or a business card or a mortgage. Sometimes it looks like healing. Sometimes it looks like trying again. Sometimes it looks like saying no to what everyone else says yes to. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline, and that timeline is not less valuable just because it doesn't look like someone else's. There are people who found their purpose at 40, people who fell in love at 50, people who started over at 60. You're not late. You're just becoming, and it takes courage, immense courage, to keep going when the world tries to convince you that you're not enough, just because your life doesn't check all the expected boxes. So give yourself grace, celebrate your growth, even if it's invisible right now. Honor your pace, even if it feels slow, and know that you are not defined by how quickly you get there. You are defined by how honestly you live, how deeply you care, and how bravely you keep showing up. The pressure will always be there. The world will always have something to say, but you get to decide what you listen to. You get to choose whose voice matters, and above all, you get to write your own story. Because 30 is not the end. It's the beginning of a more grounded, more self-aware, more powerful you, and you're exactly where you need to be. 1. The invisible timeline that's controlling you. From the moment we're born, society begins to weave an invisible timeline around us. It's not written in any book or taught in school, but it's there quietly shaping our expectations and beliefs. It's in the stories we hear growing up, the movies we watch, the songs we sing. It's in the way people ask questions that seem harmless, but plant seeds of doubt in our hearts. What do you want to be when you grow up? Have you settled down yet? When's the wedding? Still renting? These questions aren't just small talk. They're not just friendly inquiries from well-meaning relatives or friends. They're pieces of a larger narrative, the blueprint for how we're supposed to live our lives, a map we never asked for, but feel pressured to follow. At some point, whether we realize it or not, we begin to internalize these questions as measurements of our worth. We start to believe that we must have everything figured out by a certain age, that we must meet milestones on a specific schedule, or else we've somehow missed the mark. By the time we turn 25, we feel like we should have a clear direction, like we should know what we want to do with our lives. By 28, we're told we should be moving up the ladder, finding success, and making progress. By 30, the clock seems to be ticking louder. By then, we should have something tangible to show for it all: a career, a relationship, a home, a financial safety net. And when we don't have those things, we begin to feel like we've failed an exam we didn't even know we were taking. But here's the truth: that timeline we've been following, it's not real. It's a construct, a set of standards handed down to us by society, by family, by culture, created by others, not by you. It's conditioned into us from the moment we're born, shaped by expectations and norms that have nothing to do with your unique journey. It's a blueprint designed to fit the masses, not to fit you. The problem is that we start to believe in it. As though it's the only way, we begin to measure our progress against this arbitrary timeline, comparing ourselves to others, doubting our path, and questioning our value. But life isn't linear. It's not a straight line with clear milestones and predictable results. Growth isn't a one-size-fits-all process. There's no universal formula that applies to everyone, and most importantly, healing, finding your purpose, and gaining clarity, those things don't come according to schedule. They arrive in their own time, at their own pace, and true readiness doesn't come with age. It doesn't come because you hit a certain milestone or achieve some external success. Readiness comes when you've lived enough, felt enough, learned enough, healed enough to finally be able to step into the next chapter of your life. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be, learning, growing, experiencing life in ways that can't be mapped out by a chart. And when the world pushes you to rush, to compare, to measure up, take a breath. Remind yourself that your journey is yours alone. It's okay to move at your own pace, to grow in your own way, and to trust that life will unfold exactly when it's meant to, because this invisible timeline, it was never designed with you in mind. It was designed for someone else's idea of success. But your success? Too. What if you're not late, you're just different? We celebrate the 22-year-old who starts $1 million company, as though their success is the ultimate blueprint for achievement, the one everyone should follow. But in doing so, we often forget the 45-year-old who finally had the courage to leave a toxic relationship and rediscover their peace. Someone who has walked through years of heartache, only to find their strength and healing later in life. We cheer for the young prodigy who makes waves in their field. But we don't talk nearly enough about the quiet, persistent strength it takes to rebuild your life from scratch at 35, 40, or even 50. The courage it takes to start over when everyone else might expect you to have figured it out by now. We forget to honor the long journeys, the stories of resilience that take time, but that are no less important. Here's something you should remember. Your path does not have to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. The world tells us there's a right way to live, a timeline we're all supposed to follow. But the truth is, some people peak early and soar fast, and that's beautiful for them. Others bloom later, in their own time, often in the most unexpected ways. And there are those who don't even start truly living until they realize they've spent so much of their lives living for everyone but themselves. They finally realize that the rest of their life can be theirs to design. And it's never too late to begin again. You're not a failure for being on a different timeline. You're not behind because you haven't hit all the traditional milestones by the age society tells you that you should. You're simply a human being in progress, and progress is never a straight line. It's messy, it's slow, it's full of setbacks, moments of doubt, and periods of uncertainty. But what makes it all beautiful is that it's yours. Every stumble, every misstep, every moment of growth is part of your unique story. There is no rush, there is no race. Life doesn't require you to check off boxes according to someone else's timeline. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, whether that's starting over, moving forward, or taking a pause to catch your breath. What matters is that you keep going, at your own pace, in your own way, and the beauty of it all is that your journey is just as worthy as anyone else's. 3. Redefining success on your own terms. Success has been sold to us as this shiny, glittering external prize. A title that demands respect, a house that speaks of wealth, a status that grants approval, a life that looks perfect in pictures, curated for the world to see. We've been conditioned to believe that success is something you can touch, something you can show off. It's a trophy, a badge of honor, a list of achievements for others to admire. But here's the truth. Real success? It doesn't look like what the world tells us it should. Sometimes, real success is about having the courage to say no when you used to say yes, just to keep everyone happy. When you've learned to honor your own needs, instead of constantly meeting the expectations of others. Sometimes, success is about starting over, even though the thought of it terrifies you, because you know deep down that staying stuck is worse than facing the unknown. Sometimes, real success is choosing therapy when you've been carrying pain in silence for too long. Choosing rest when the hustle has drained your soul, and choosing yourself, your peace, your boundaries, your mental and emotional well-being. So, what does real success look like? It's the ability to sleep at night with a calm heart, knowing that you made choices that align with your truth. It's waking up every day, looking in the mirror, and not needing to prove anything to anyone, not to your parents, your peers, or even the world at large. It's knowing your worth deeply, even when the applause has quieted down and no one is clapping for you. It's standing in your own power, regardless of how many people recognize or validate you, and being proud of the person you are becoming, even if it's a journey that only you truly understand. Real success is also about being kind to others. Even when no one is watching or giving you credit, it's offering love, support, and understanding without needing anything in return. It's being generous, not because it will get you something, but because it's in your nature to want to give. And sometimes, real success is growing in silence. While the world is too busy to notice, it's about planting seeds that no one sees, nurturing dreams that no one hears about, but knowing that every small, quiet step you take is moving you closer to the life you've always wanted. Even if no one acknowledges it, if you can stand in your truth, if you can say, "I'm living in alignment with who I truly am," then you've already achieved something far more powerful than most could ever understand. You've found your peace, your purpose, your quiet power, and that, my friend, is success in its truest form. 4. The pain of comparison and how to let it go. You scroll through social media, and it feels like you're surrounded by perfect lives, curated wins, milestone after milestone. It's as though everyone is living their best, most flawless version of reality, and you can't help but wonder, why not me? Why does it seem like everyone else has it all together while you're still figuring things out? Why does it feel like you're falling behind, like you're missing something everyone else has already found? But here's the truth. What you're seeing isn't the full picture. You're seeing the highlights, not the heartbreaks, the moments of doubt, or the quiet struggles that no one talks about. You're seeing filtered success, not the sleepless nights spent battling self-doubt, or the uncertainty that lingers behind every decision. You're seeing timelines that look flawless, but you're not seeing the cost it took to get there. You're not seeing the things people sacrificed along the way: relationships, peace of mind, personal growth, or time for themselves. What you're seeing are moments carefully curated for the world to admire, but not the real, raw journey behind them. When you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you shrink your own joy. You diminish the beauty of your own progress, making it feel insignificant. You start questioning your own journey, doubting your choices, and wondering if you're even on the right path. You start turning your personal growth into a competition, comparing your steps to theirs, measuring your worth by their success, as if there's only one right way to live, to succeed, or to be happy. But the truth is, life is not a race. It's not a leaderboard with a set of winners and losers. It's not about who gets there first, or who has the most followers, or who can boast the most accomplishments. Life is about something far deeper, about the choices you make along the way, about staying true to who you are, even when the world tells you to change. It's about honoring your journey, even when it's messy, slow, and uncertain. It's about finding peace in knowing that your path is uniquely yours, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Let go of the need to catch up to anyone. You don't have to match their timeline, follow their path, or hit their milestones. You're not behind, And you are not falling short. You are simply on your own timeline, in your own season of life. And that's exactly where you're meant to be. Every step you take is part of your story. Every pause, every setback, every victory, big or small, is a part of your growth. You don't have to hurry. You don't have to rush to meet anyone else's expectations of what success should look like. You are not defined by where others are or how quickly they've gotten there. You are defined by the courage it takes to keep going. Even when it feels like you're behind, you are defined by your authenticity, your heart, your perseverance. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that your timeline wasn't something to rush through, it was something to embrace. You are never behind. You are simply on your own perfect path, unfolding in exactly the right way, at exactly the right time. 5. Happiness was never in the destination. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing the idea of being successful by 30 is the moment you free yourself to actually enjoy being alive, because happiness isn't found in checking off a list. It's found in how you live between the check marks. It's in the conversations that make you forget your phone. It's in laughing until you cry with someone who sees the real you. It's in creating something that means something, even if no one claps. It's in becoming someone your younger self would be proud of, not because of what you've achieved, but because of how you've healed. You're not late. You're not lost. You're becoming, and that process cannot be measured by age. 6. A gentle reminder: if you're doubting yourself today, you're allowed to take longer than others. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to not have it all figured out. You're allowed to evolve in silence without needing to post about it. You're allowed to rest, to begin again, to rewrite your story. 30 is not an end point. It's not a verdict. It's not a label. It's just a number in your life. It's just getting started. So if you're not where you thought you'd be by 30, it's okay. You still have time. To grow. To change. To love. To become. You don't owe the world a perfect timeline. You only owe yourself the courage to live your truth.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.